Okay, great. So how does it feel knowing that so many people over the weekend have been like up through the night eating ribs and watching all the episodes?
It's astounding to me. I don't binge, so I've never done it, but it's kind of remarkable when you hear that people have already gotten through all 13. And now they're like, when's the next season?
When's the next? I know, I don't binge. I binge on Hobnobs. That's about it, but it's the same effect. Sugar high, sugar blue when it's over. Whereas they want more.
Exactly, they do want more. Is that
Yeah.
the plan?
Well, who knows? We don't know yet.
Well, we're all fingers crossed. So, starting off with where the characters are this season, do you think they can carry on getting away with it? Is this about kind of the trouble of getting what you wished for, in a way?
I think that one of the most interesting things about this season is to take two characters who have been so successful in operating in the shadows, and now they can no longer operate in those dark alleys. They now are in the hottest, whitest spotlight that you could possibly be in, and how they learn to deal with that and confront that and negotiate through that is a very interesting journey for both of them to take.
And there's a lot of focus on Claire and Claire's ambitions as well. Was that good for you to play? I know you were directing as well, so you had a lot going on.
Always a lot going on. Always a lot to achieve. Always a challenge ahead. But that's fuel for them, the challenge. And that's what makes it never ending. There's always once they've reached their goal, they might as well just pick out the coffin and call it a day.
Yeah, I think that it's interesting that people are like, well, now that they've gotten everything they want, but they haven't. They've gotten into an office, but there is much to accomplish and much to do. It's only just begun.
And do you feel like, in many ways, these characters are so rich and interesting that you could almost put them in any situation and see how they coped and survived, and people would want to watch that?
I can't imagine any other situation, but I that's perfectly fine.
I
Yeah,
don't
sure.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think Claire would survive at a Tupperware party. I really don't. I just, yeah.
I would love to see that. That would be brilliant. Now with the third season, are people expecting you more than ever to be political experts?
I don't think anyone looks at me as a political expert.
No.
In fact, anytime I seem to say anything political, I get slammed for it.
I know, so hush.
So, yeah, be quiet.
He's not allowed to speak politics. We have a political advisor on the show, so we blame it on him anyway.
And I wanted to ask you about Pussy Riot being in this series. Obviously, as the things that they fight for, creative freedom and artistic freedom, was it important for you? Were you pleased that they were in the show?
I'd never heard of them. I'm just going to say it straight out. I'd never heard of Pussy Riot.
Yeah, I wish I could talk about that, but if I did, I would be spoiling it for people who haven't watched season 3 yet. So I kind of can't talk about plot lines.
I thought it was okay on that one because they'd said even before the season was out, but that's absolutely fine. No, absolutely fine.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. I mean, the point is that it doesn't matter that they said it before or that people have said it after. There are millions of people who have not seen season 3, so I don't want to be spoiler in chief.
Okay, absolutely fine. It's spoiler in chief. Excellent political title.
King of spoilers? No? Okay.
It must be hard to talk about it because
I don't. I mean, that's the only answer is I don't talk about it. I haven't for 3 years. I can't. I can't even talk about things that happened in season 1 because there's people who are just catching up to season 1.
This is like being on that show, the $50,000 pyramid. You remember?
Or what's my line?
What's my line? Or you're giving a clue, and you're
Right.
like, is it?
Yeah, I can't really say that yet.
No, I like that. I wouldn't want anything ruined. Finally, the costumes that your characters, the costumes that you wear, your character's wardrobe. What do you think about that? Have you seen that in Washington themselves? I know there's loads of websites dedicated to Claire's style and how you can look like these characters.
Oh, I haven't seen any of that. No. I just show up and there's a suit and I put it on. It's not that complicated.
Yeah, you don't
have
have,
far,
mine's
she
more
has far
layered and more
layered
ideas
stuff, yeah,
behind
yeah.
it. But I mean, Frank Underwood and Lederhosen would not really, I don't think it would work very well, but designing Claire's wardrobe has been a blast because it's trying to take, because you have to be formal without being matronly is where I was trying to head. And there's a very executive DC look. And just didn't look good on me. It just didn't work. So we brought more classic 40s and sexy to the executive look. It's fun.
It's very powerful. I think her dress codes is very powerful.
Yeah.
That's lovely.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much. It was
you.
lovely to see those questions. Let me know as soon as we arrive. Okay, great. You're back.
Yep.
Was it quite fun with people kind of debating whether you would be back or not?
No, that was really stressful. That was a year of, I'm not a liar, but I had to lie at times, and it sucked. That was really hard for me. Like, that's just not in my being. So it was hard, and to hold in a secret for a year. My wife knew, a couple friends knew, my mom and dad knew, but for the most part, I was even lying to a lot of friends, and going to pick up my kids from school, and they're like, "Oh, what are you working on?" I'm like, "Oh, this film out in Jersey." I was like, I feel like such an ass lying to everybody. It was so hard.
So now you can finally talk about it.
Yeah, it feels so good. Such a relief,
And what is Doug up to? What's he doing? Obviously.
This year.
Yeah.
In season 3.
Yeah.
God, just madness, more madness. He's, at the heart of it all, he is doing everything he can to get back to where he believes he belongs, back to the chief of staff of the President of the United States. So that's what he's doing underneath, but on the surface, shit is hitting the fan and everything's falling down around him, and he's dealing with, an incredibly difficult situation. A brain injury is not, there's a million different scenarios that can happen when people have these things.
And his relationship with Frank, do we think the bromance is souring a little bit this season?
I think, I wouldn't say the bromance is souring. I think it's really, as a result of what happened, Doug thinks that he's in a different place than he is. And Francis realizes where Doug is. And so it's just two men one who thinks he knows what's going on and one who does know what's going on. And that just, and how the two of them go together is not working out so well in the beginning. But, 3 scenes with Francis this year when I used to have hundreds a year, and there's only 3 this year. And that's, we made the most of them, those 3. Excellent.
Do people now expect you to be some kind of political expert?
Yeah, it's funny. I studied political science in college. I had a dream of being an attorney, and it just fell into acting, just thank God, in college. But we go, excuse me, every year we go to the White House Correspondents' Dinner. We've been fortunate enough to be invited every year. And you go, and sometimes you get to talking to some of these political guys. And first of all, the fact that they say they know someone just like me is scary as hell. But they talk on a higher level of politics than you would expect from someone of me. I know enough to be able to to wing it with them, but yeah, I think they expect more.
And obviously we've got Pussy Riot in this season, which is a big thing, because they're all about kind of freedom of expression and being able to be artistic and stuff like that. Is that something you were pleased that you were able to kind of cover that topic?
Sure, yeah. I think the world of those guys. So to have them, be able to say their piece to the president, so to speak, I'm into that kind of stuff. I like to stir the pot a little, so I was fine.
And I've heard that the song that they did as well is kind of a message to America. they're like hitting it on both levels.
Like I said, it's something. It's I think it's great that we have the freedom to do and say what we want. And I think that it's great that people can voice their opinions no matter what they're saying, good or bad.
Will there be more?
More House of Cards?
Yeah.
I hope so. I don't know. I haven't. I don't have a contract, so I'm not sure. But I can only hope so. Yeah.
It's cruel to ask you after
Yeah.
last time.
Yeah, right.
Really.
You'll go back to lying.
Yeah.
No. I don't know. So that's the truth. I certainly hope so. I know that they want to. So.
And final question: how do you view Doug's wardrobe? Because obviously there's all the characters have got quite a distinct style, and obviously for you it's a costume. How do you kind of view his wardrobe? Is there something now that you wouldn't wear because if you wore it, you'd look more like Doug?
I don't think I would. Yeah, I don't think I would wear anything that Doug wears. I don't. I remember my first costume fitting. I was like, "Oh my God, are you kidding me?" Like the pants were so big. We've cut them down a little as it's gone on, but the costume designer showed me. He was like, "Look," and he pulled out his iPad and he was like, and just picture after picture after picture of these horribly dressed men in Washington. I was like, all right, fine, I'll wear it. But yeah, no, I wear ties, but not those ties. I wear suits, but not those suits. And you know, I love my Burberry and stuff like that. I'm not into that stuff he wears. No.
I like the idea of power pants.
It's just awful. The first pair I put on, I was like, oh wow, really? All right. I'm like, I do have an ass. You would never see it in these pants. I do have one.
Oh, dear. That's brilliant. Thank you very much. That was great.
Thank you.
And you're in Everest as well.